This is FleurBrun coming to you today to discuss a very politic topic of discussion. So I'll wait. I think this is live. We'll see how it pans out. I turned off all the electronics around, so hopefully this will go through. I see it starting up. Okay. Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna go in right now. Hey, Daddy Wata. Peace, peace. Check on in. Yeah, I have some discussion I'd like to put out there. Hey, Seeking Nature. Hey, Asha. Two fleurs in one day. Hey, Jay. Hey, Netra. Hey, Original Aboriginal. Hey, Ottawa. Gaia. Hey, Moore. Hey, Yarrow Peace. Hey, Naria. Hey, Joy Music. Hey, Troubled Life. Hey, Numbry. Nina Numbry. I am reading so far. Hey, Untitled Sensei. Hey, Figgy. Some of you I saw already on Patreon. I'm trying to figure out the whole technology thing, but I'm gonna get in tonight. I have something I want to get off my chest, and I'm keeping my chest at bay, so I'm being appropriate. I wanted to discuss and kind of talk to the ideology that we're collectively growing, and even those who are still existing without true awareness, self-awareness, everyone's kind of shifting. You're seeing, even I noticed those who are more limited in cognitive awareness. I noticed that people are changing aspects of themselves. You saw the movie? You watched the Black Panther? Oh, it was thebomb.com. I noticed a shift. And the shift is happening everywhere. There's zero who are being unaffected, including the animals, the insects. Everything is being affected by this wave of consciousness, divine feminine consciousness that is kind of, permeating and drenching and, the planet. And it's beautiful. But we have to speak to those who did dirty. Now, many of you know me already. For those who don't know me and kind of coming online with me, I used to kind of sit in the concept of forgiveness. And, I note that, especially in Christianity, there is a big push for those to forgive those who've done harm against them because you too are not in perfection. I get that, yada, 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 what have you. My issue is when people do dirt, like really debaucherous things to someone, how much forgiveness should you give? And give forgiveness in the way that it's being placated and perpetuated? Is it really about the forgiveness that they're perpetuating? Or is it really about giving someone amnesty and releasing some of the karmic debt from the bastardous things that they do in their lack of self-awareness, in their selfishness, in their sociopathicness, in their narcissistic field? How much of that do we give to those who do harm? Now, I'm going to speak to my sea stars in respect to those who I don't consider to be sea stars, and I barely consider them to be the feminine. I personally have seen a lot of those who are jumping ship, who are defectors of the patriarchy, who did harm and stepped on their sisters' necks to get to the placement that they've gotten, and think that they're going to come here on our rainbow ship, on our beautiful waterfall, beautiful piece of conscious real estate, and sit and think that we're going to allow you to come and just act like it didn't happen. And we're going to act like you didn't sleep with 20 million people's husbands and ruin families, and act like, oh, well, because you now decided to be self-aware and conscious and the patriarchy is going down, that you're just going to step off and jump off ship and try to get on the Rainbow Coalition mothership and think that it's going to be all okie dokie. Well, I'm just here to remind you that I didn't forget not what one of you biddies did. I didn't forget when it was time for some sort of coalition for unity consciousness, for those to come together collectively, to work together to heal women, regardless of what demographic they came from. I remember those times when there were women sitting on a man's lap or sitting toasting with men who are known to be pedophiles, who are known to be harmers of the female, divine female state of consciousness, those who have made a point to create places like Planned Parenthood, and those who are still engaging in the harvesting and confiscation and sex trade of women to this day. I noticed that many of you sea stars think we forgot about you. That we don't know who you were associated with, Miss Clinton. That we didn't know that you were sitting there so idly along, making sure that you were drinking cognac, serving drinks to a devil. And you think you're going to sit and wear purple and white and think that we're going to accept you. No, I don't think so. I'm going to lay the target where it deserves to be. If you have sat there and defamed your sea star, ruined her family, taking joy in another woman's heartache, then you too, Missy, you too can sit on the boat with those sinking ships, a patriarchy that are here to pay the karmic debt for all the dastardly deeds they did to the sea stars, and hurting them and harming them, killing them, murdering them, and molesting them. You sit on that boat with that sinking ship with those devils. Don't you dare think that I don't see you. Don't you think I don't see you sitting here comfortably amongst some of the platforms of some of the sea stars that are really getting it together, that are really uniting together, that are really trying to join and feel together and heal our hearts and our system and our families, and think that you're going to sit comfortably and think we're not going to know who you are and who you were and now who you're trying to pretend to be. I see you. So I'm talking to those, the defectors of the patriarchy, especially those who look like women, but are all male, negative, low-field male, all on the inside. There's no cream filling. There's just sourness, bitterness, betrayal, and debaucherousness all inside of you. And I have a problem with you. Just like when I made a video on a male, and how he may have been connected to something that I didn't know if he was or not, regarding the selling of organs connected to the occult. I noticed that the first people who ran to him were sea stars. They're not sea stars, were female, that will go and run over to the patriarchy. You might as well suck on his nasty wand. You might as well do that, because you go over and run over to tell and say something so that you could be be part of the top of his list of the women that he sleeps with and injects with more poisonous patriarchy in your vagina and your head, because it's not a yoni you have. I know who you are, and I don't appreciate it. How dare you think that I'm going to sit idly and watch some of you dirty, disgusting, debaucherous, patriarchy defectors sit comfortably amongst those beautiful sea stars that are working hard right now? How dare you? You think I'm going to sit and allow it? I think not. I don't have to call out your name. You know who you are. You could talk all day, talk about other sea stars, go and placate lies on them, harm, sleep around, try to harm their family system. But remember, the universe does not sleep, and all is seen under the guise of karma. How dare you? I don't care what the patriarchy is doing to save their tail right now. They're trying to do it because they're going down. They're trying to do Quincy Jones, trying to call out people, though he's not talking about what he did. This one, what's his name? What's his name? The other one. Does yoga all day. He's another dirty one. Listen, I don't really have any words or really any judgment when it comes to the males that have been doing dirt. They were in their cycle. That's what they did. They got perks and brownies for Russell Simmons. Thank you, Troubled Life. Russell Simmons, who was sleeping with little girls, saw a beautiful Kimora Lee Simmons as a little 11-year-old and thought to himself, oh, I can't wait until she turns age so I can stick it in her. This is the type of devils. What's his name? The singer. When I'm upset, names don't, what's his name? The other perverts who just got his house taken from not paying. Y'all paying. You all paying. R. Kelly. Thank you, Vicky. I love my SeaStars. Yeah, R. Kelly. That's another one. Sleeping with little girls, thinking he's going to get away with it. Now his house is being taken because he didn't pay a bill. I feel no empathy for y'all. I don't. You could disclose, listen, keep it coming, keep telling the truth, keep letting it come out. I want to hear it, but you get no anonymity. There is zero forgiveness. You have harmed and done so much harm to the state of feminine consciousness that I have nothing for you. I don't care if Russell Simmons or if what's his name makes a song in honor of Prince after he didn't even like him. What's that young boy's name who did that whole honor on the Oscars? What was it? No, the Grammys. He did the old what's his name? Justin Timberlake did a whole whole honor to Prince. Prince and him didn't even get along. Prince didn't want anyone making any music that was his and putting a hologram anywhere with his image when he passed. You don't even have respect for him, Justin Timberlake. You're one of the culture vultures that sits here and takes the culture and the beauty of a culture and make it into your own and don't even give honor to the beings that influence you to do so. You disgust me. How dare you put that image up there and think that we don't know who you are? I don't care if you turn the whole world purple. It's not your reign. You devils are going down. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing SeaStars go after another SeaStars and just want to hurt them over some man's penis, over some nasty wand who's sticking it in every woman that he gets a chance because he has no sensibility. He has no self-restraint. But you're going to give honor. You're going to give loyalty to a man who has no loyalty to you. Then you will go down with the ship. All of you. Yeah, I'm pissed off. I had to see some of you SeaStar. No, let me retract that. I had to see some of you wasteful, non-feminine patriarchy penis riders. I don't even call it a wand. Penis riders. I had to see you for who you really are. Rah, rah for the patriarchy. Go down with that shit. You're not going to sit here and infiltrate my SeaStars, and I will let you know your spots have been blown. Every single last disgusting one of you. You want to sit there and act like you have clean hands when you are in hands in harming and causing rift between the SeaStars. We're here to unite. Every color, every complexion, every nationality, every religion. We're here for families. We're here for mothers. We're here for the elders. If you're not about that life, don't join our mothership because you're going to be thrown off. You're going to walk the plank. Do you understand me? Because if we don't get you here, you know in the ether, our powerful goddesses got you all day. Please, SeaStars, watch who you rock with. Watch who walk in your circles. There are some snakes in the grass, and not the black snakes, not the beautiful nega snakes that we talk about. We're talking about some nasty, venomous snakes in the grass, slithering around, and all they do is report to the patriarchy. All they're spies to the debaucherous, falling down patriarchy. That's what they are. They're not here for you. They're not here. Like I said, I saw a few of you show up when you go and report to other males about things I say about them. That shows your consciousness. I love seeing when you do that. I love when you expose yourself because you come out of the grass and I can catch you. I'm grateful for that awareness and that view and that I get to see that vantage point. But I'm warning you, disgusting snakes. You've chosen a side. You better stay there. Because if you plan to come over here, you're going to be met with force. Don't come on Cypher. Don't request to come on Cypher. Don't change your platform 50 million times to come on Cypher. You are unwelcomed, because regardless if you go on there or not, you put yourself more in a position to be viewed, because many of us already know who you are. I'm just a little disturbed that I have to hear about the sad state of being that is still being it's festering amongst the ranks of our beautiful divine. Some of you have snakes all in your covens. A lot of you have snakes all in your church choir, places where you sing and commune. A lot of you have snakes all in your cipher and all in your collective. You've got a girlfriend right now who's quick to jump on the wand of your man as soon as you turn your back. You need to check who you rock with. It's better to have one alliance who has loyalty, who's down with you, who's about that life, than to have 20 snakes in the grass waiting for you barely to go sideways so they can do harm in your back. Some of you have to pay attention to who you rock with, because when you have dirty things, you're going to bring them to other surfaces, and it's going to make other people's homes dirty. Keep your raggedy friends, your dirty rats outside of the house. Exterminate those who are not down for the divine. We are intolerant of it, and I have a problem with it. And many of these divine, non-divine, feminine that are really just men, the low field patriarchy showing up as females, because all they do is service the wand. They wish they had a wand, so all they do is service it to the point where you think that they want to be one. Stop playing with these devil females. Listen for the router. You darn Skippy. It is disgusting. And it's just, what's so interesting? They showed a video, and this is where you have to be mindful and self-aware of who you are, because some of us don't realize we have snakes inside of us. We have aspects of ourselves that show up in other people. You got to check yourself sometimes and clear this space, and sometimes that space outside will always collectively clear itself out. But what I noticed, there was a video where And it's always back to Nature Not in his camp, because apparently he has leukoplasia of the mouth, and he is disclosing all the lies that he was telling. Thank you, Mind Over Matter, my previous crush, Big up to Mind Over Matter TV. I like him. He's a little feisty. He's got a little feisty over the last couple weeks. But anyway, he was talking about a video, and what's so interesting with Nature Not, Fake Tahuti. He was talking about how there was a young lady there, and I told you it was so sad. And if you want to see toxic feminine show up in such a sick way, watch the women of that camp that are staying and surrounding themselves around Nature Not. If you see that is a detail of the type of non-divine feminine, because anyone who can stay around a being to that capacity is that being. They are reflections of that being. So you have someone called Fury, who has this affinity. She's in love with Nature Not because he reflects who she is, which you can see. And you had Pocahontas, who was someone who joined that sect. I speak about this because I just want to give you a different vantage point. And he had this fascination, because he has fascinations with women every 2 seconds. So he had a fascination with, Pocahontas, very beautiful, aesthetically beautiful girl. I question her mentality, obviously, for joining somewhere like that. But no, Fury. So Fury had an issue with him feeling the way he did. So anytime Pocahontas would turn her back while she's there, now mind you, they're saying, "Oh, we love each other. We're a family. We're one. They're all living together in tents. Everybody's sleeping around together, seeing each other's yonis and wands. They're all acting like they're united. But every time that Pocahontas turned her back, Fury was in the ear of Nature Not. telling him everything that she would think or was or suspected that, or maybe was getting told by what she thought was her friend. You know, Pocahontas may have thought Fury was her friend, disclosing that and telling him. That is the type of snakes that some of these non-divines show up as. They just want to get intel from you so they can go back to their masters, master not teachers, and go and disclose it to take your position down so they could uphold a non-active position, you know, a low field position, whatever position they want, and take over your shine. Now, you know, many of you know listen, I've seen groupies and the tails. I've known sports players, handsome, talented men who make a crap load of money. They are wealthy beyond wealth. And I've seen wives with their little babies sitting right there, and a jump off sitting right behind the wife and child that's just slept or is about to sleep with the man's husband right after the game. This is the type of snakery that happens. And then we wonder why the divine fell. Because of these type of insipidous, non-loyal, patriarchal looking, pseudo-feminine patriarchal wenches that service only the patriarchy for their own debaucherous, low self-esteem field. I'm disgusted. Listen, like I said, y'all could do what you want to do, but I'm putting the warning out there. If you come and I see you, I will deal with you. That's all I'll say. You come, you need to stay in your boat. Like I said, your sinking boat with the sinking ship that's presently going down. That's where you belong. If you want to play with dogs and dirty dogs, then you get fleas and you need to stay there and stay in that dirty, debaucherous, that field that you decided to lie with. Don't come over and try to jump ship and act like, oh, I'm a vegan. Oh, I'm so enlightened. Oh my gosh, I'm all about feminine. And as soon as you get in a circle of other females, you're out to get them. You're out to take them down. You're out to take out every single one that makes you feel lower than you obviously you haven't dealt with. So you get in these circles not for the benefit, not for the unity, not for the sense of collectiveness. Yes, Agent Smiths. But you get in there to infiltrate, to eliminate anyone who makes you feel incompetent and not worthy. But these are all feelings about yourself that you feel. That has nothing to do with the sea stars that you're coming collectively around. There's nothing wrong with admiring other sea stars. There's nothing wrong with joining groups that you admire the women and you want to be a part of that. I think that's beautiful. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Seeking Nature, just email me, Seeking Nature. Okay? Yeah, I love that we saw Black Panther, and I'm really in admiration that we actually saw the women show up in the most integrity-ridden way, where there was so much loyalty and honor and collectivity that it should be something that we want to mimic. It's the first time, it's not the only, but it's the first time in a long time that cinematography has actually reflected something that was somewhat positive. I mean, obviously it's not going to be perfected because obviously television, all these fields around us are not necessarily for our total benefit. But to see these wonderful, loyal warrioresses showing up in defense and loyalty, fighting as a unit. This is what we're going to have to do, my sea stars. I know it is tough. I know it is hard. I understand sometimes it feels like it's a battle you're on your own, but you are not. You are not. Even if you stand as one with integrity against 50 million liars and demons, then you walk into the higher realms of consciousness and dimensions with a badge of honor on your chest, on your heart. You rock that on your own. You need no one but yourself to sit in the space of integrity and honor. You don't need 20 million sea stars or homies with you for you to rock in that light, that unity consciousness. All you need is yourself with self-love, self-awareness, and self-respect. That's all you need. I think a lot of times they perpetuate for us to get in these circles and these huge ciphers of people, and they realize that it's not going to work because collectively a lot of us are all sick. All of us are sick to a certain degree. We are, including myself. And let me tell you, Sea Stars, I don't sit here in perfection with you. I tell you all day. I tell you my personal stories. In my youth, I've done things that I don't think are healthy, but I've apologized and I've paid for 90% of what I've done. 90%. I remember sitting and liking, I remember, and I was young. I remember a boyfriend of a friend was so in love with me, enamored, and I was so, and I'm gonna be honest, this is when my youth, I'm telling you, this is over 30 years ago. But in my youth, I remember a young man loved me so much, he honored me, he was obsessed with me. He was with my friend. And I took such, my ego was soothed by that. My ego, my distorted sense of lack of self-love was enjoyed that kind of attention. But you know what? What he does to one, he will do to the other. So that male who thought I was the bomb.com, but must have thought she was the bomb.com when he got with her, got with me and did exactly to me what he did to her. A little worse. That's what I got, and I deserved it. I learned my lesson, and I learned to evolve and realize I had to work on my self-esteem. I had to work on me because I should have never gotten off. I should have never gotten an ego rise from another woman's man who was my friend, liking and admiring me. How dare he? Nowadays, if a man does that, he gets checked. He gets checked like he was a dirty dog on the street. You come and you disrespect my girlfriend, you disrespecting me. And I will check him, and I will check him in public, I will check him in private, and I'll check him in front of my homie. I've learned that. But it wasn't like that when I was younger. So I have to say that. Because even with, and I discussed this with a group, and I said, even with the exodus to Brazil, I was concerned about males showing up. Why? Is because when they come in, they will create coups amongst the females. There will be so much division. There will be tons of egos and competition. This is where our problem is. We focus too much on our lacks, and we're allowing ourselves to be incepted by those demonic males who know to play on our weaknesses. We have to omit those males, and we need to omit the females that rock with those males. We have to get rid of both. Do not allow either. Because a male who will allow other females to be competitive over him and will spark that type of antics do not deserve to be in your cipher. They need to be blown. Their spots need to be blown, and they need to be thrown overboard with the other dirty dogs. I'm sweating. I'm hot. I'm heated. We're at that point. You've drawn your sand, non-divines. You've drawn your line in the sand. Once I've seen you as a violator to the divine feminine, you have no placement with me or anybody that I know who sits well in unity consciousness. You are seen. Don't think you can sit quietly sneaking around. We're cultivators of the grass. The grass speaks to us. So now when you slither through the grass has already given us the intel that there's some serpents beneath there and going in the blades that are waiting to take bites. We know who you are. And I'm urging for all the other sea stars who have these insipidous, non-divine serpents in their circles to not exterminate, to relieve them of their placement amongst your tiers and send them to the dirty dogs that they were infiltrated with and were stimulated by. Anybody I know who's associated with nature knot, don't come my way. And then they'll say, oh, FleurBrun, why are you being so judgmental? It's not judgmental. Who you rock with says volumes about who you are. If I'm hanging out with a bunch of murderers that harm children, that hurt babies or beat their wives, that is a testament to who I am at my core. You may not see it because maybe my play face is a little better. Maybe I could just act it out. Maybe I could put better makeup to hide the debaucherous being that I am. But best believe, if I'm hanging with beings like that, that's a testament to who I am. So if you got beings rocking with nature knot, knowing that he's harming that little boy, making him walk, cursing at him, you know that he's abusing a young sea stars, and he has pedophile ways, liking young girls because they're more impressionable, and he has latent homosexual behavior that he has not resolved within himself. You hang with him, you motivate him, you big him up, don't come my way. You're not part of me. That's just what it is. Birds of a feather flock together. Thank you, Netra. Even when Mr. Corey was talking last night about the show Black Panther, people who are bigging up what's his name? What's his name? The gentleman who was, he took over the tribe. Killmonger, thank you, Killmonger. Listen to his name, Killmonger. He took over the tribe. The first thing he did is he put his hands on an elder and lift her up. That's off with your head. You do something like that in my midst or around my homies who I rock with, there's going to be a price to pay. He did that, and you have people. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's better to let it all air out. You have women, you have men who are saying this man is the hero of the show. Just the fact that he put his hands on an elder should let you know that that's the devil. If you go outside and you see a grown man, strong and healthy, put his hands around any female and lift her up and tell her she does what he wants her to do with no empathy, would you rock with him? Would you ever give him any credence? Would you ever give that being any credibility? Why would you do it on a cinematography show? That tells me who you are. That tells me who you are. You think that there's certain positions, certain circumstances where it's okay to beat up on women. That's what you're telling me. Even as a woman, you're telling me that there's certain circumstances where a man should put his hands on an elder who's cultivating agriculture for ancestral connection. She deserves a hand because she questioned his non-rationality. But you got people saying they think he's a hero. You don't rock with me. You don't rock with me. The men I know, even if they're placed in a position that's questionable, will step back because they realize that paralysis-wise, strength-wise, they are men for a reason. Men are warriors for a reason. Men are soldiers for a reason. They are here to protect us. They are here to help create with us. They're not here to harm us. Don't get me wrong. There are men who are met by forceful, aggressive women much more in this time frame than any other time. But I've seen some bad warriors, bad dudes that are strong, that are warriors, that could cut down anybody, who will stand back, and rather than put his hands on a woman, he'll walk away and just not engage with this beast unless he has to hold her and push her away and make sure she doesn't harm anyone, including himself. But you see that we have to see, when people show you, my mother said it, when people show you who they are, please believe them. Please know that's who they are. If I show you that I like to mess with other people's men and husbands or girlfriends, whatever have you, if I show you that I do that in my life, even if I say I won't do it to you, I'll do it to you. If I show you that I'm that way, that's who I am. Believe people when they show you themselves once, because sometimes you see one thing on the outside, there's 50 million in the backlight that you don't even know exist. The line is drawn in the sand. All I have to do is see it once. Back in the days, you break it, once, 2, 3 times, 4 times even. I give chances. There's 0 chances at this point. When you show who you are, listen, if I show you that I do bad, harmful things to other people, best believe that's who I am. If I sit there and you meet me and I'm talking nasty about people in front of you, about my mother, about my sister, about my brothers, if I'm talking about my best friend, or I'm smashing my best friend's man and you know about it, that's who I am. I watched today. I had taken my little brother. He's a big brother. He was sick today. I took him to the ER, right? So him and my mother went to the ER, right? So I go and take them, and they go together. And I come back when they're done. He's fine. He's fine. He's a big boy. He can do. He's smart. He's bright. Sometimes he doesn't take as good care of himself. Anyway, so I come back to the hospital and I pick them up, and there was an elder coming out of a Uber. And she was walking, out of the Uber. Now, a man is driving the Uber, right? Now, I've taken Ubers before, rarely, because I'm paranoid. I always think somebody's an ET or reptilian trying to, do things. But anytime I've gotten out of Uber, men will get out of the car and open the door for me. I'm healthy, even when I'm not. She walks out of the Uber, a brown, melanated elder. He doesn't open the door for her. She's going to the ER. He doesn't come around to see if she'll make it. The security guard, which is a male, is sitting there. He's not getting up. He's not offering her help. She's shuffling up to the front. I get out, ask if she's okay, see if someone can get her a wheelchair so they could wheel her in. We got to do better. When I could sit and watch an elder get out of a car and there's 2 males there who don't even, it's a ER too. Let's take that into consideration. It's interesting how we feel like we could throw them away. And don't get me wrong, I have a mommy, a matrix mommy, and sometimes she frustrates me, or I frustrate her. More so, I probably frustrate her with my whole mindset. And I get it sometimes. And it made me see things in a clearer way. You will not make it to higher fields of consciousness. You will be unable to escape the chains and the entanglement of the matrix if you can't even show compassion for yourself and then outwardly show compassion for those who least have power in our society. It speaks volumes how we treat our elders. You go to Asian countries, elders are worshipped, they're honored, and they're respected. You come to our country, you see elders sitting in their apartments, hot, uncomfortable, and no one going to visit them. You go to hospice centers where elders are left alone and they're not being taken care of, or they're being euthanized, which I just found out, which broke my heart, that there are elders that are euthanized like dogs for their money and to get them out so they have a clear bed to bring in another person for potential euthanization when they're too much to take care of. Yeah, I just found out about the euthanization of our elders. So when I speak to the testament of the sickness of females here who are, now listen, one thing with the mothers, sisters, grandmothers, we are the nurturers. And when you have women who lack nurturing, who lack that empathy, it's a testament to their sickness, especially those in servitude to the patriarchy who already are stoic and abusive and non-empathetic and non-sympathetic of the divine. It says a lot. I want to do better. I have to extend my own, me viewing that also as a testament that maybe I want to do more for elders. I want to do more for my mom. I want to be present in a way that I feel like maybe I can't tell you what I think is lacking if I'm not willing to extend that in within myself. So when I talk to you, I don't say it from a position like I'm better than. I tell you, I saw that it bothered my heart, and I thought of my mom, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, what if I'm not there? What would someone not help her? But my mom, she's she does. I'm grateful. People treat her well, and I'm grateful for that. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, your father passed. I'm sorry. My father passed away last week. None of my so-called female friends reached out. That's a sign. That's a sign. Release them. Release them to the demons and the alligator infested waters of the draconians. Release them to the draconians and let them be. I'm sorry for that. You know? It's a testament. And I had to learn, family. Listen, many of you knew me for years. You've always seen me do videos by myself, and you didn't think it was really the case. I rock with people who are so loyal, but my cipher is small and meek and sweet and very simple. I only surround myself with those who have integrity, who are like myself. I only accept what I am, even my idiosyncrasies. I accept that within my friendships and my mates. I do. But I stay mostly solo. Even with my mate, I stay solo because I realize that I'm in it to win it. Like, I have to show up in a certain way. I'm going to stand on this platform on my own. I don't need anyone to hold me up, but I had to learn that. And for the same reason, there are girlfriends that, listen, you already know, I talk to tons of people. I have tons of really wonderful, exciting beings that I meet daily and that I've known for years. I had a girlfriend who was a psychic. I think I've told you this before. I had a girlfriend back in the days who was a psychic. She used to use her psychic abilities to win the ponies. You know, is that called the ponies? The ponies? The horse riding? Is that called horse racing? Racing and gambling. She was good at this. This is what she used her abilities for. She did. There's a price to pay for that. But remember how FleurBrun feels about animals. Remember that. Horse racing, thank you. Derby, thank you. Remember how I feel about animals. So when I first met her, I remember she was really into a lot of the same things. I actually went to the Edgar Cayce Institute with her for one of the retreats we did in Virginia Beach. Big up to Edgar Cayce's Institute. I love it. If you never want to go, wonderful staff, wonderful people, fantastic spiritual retreats. If you want to go, Virginia Beach, if you're in the Northeast or not, I really enjoyed it. And the fairies are in the garden. So if you ever want to go. But she was a psychic. She used it for gambling. And I met her on a really spiritual basis, like when she was all into like, I wasn't so much the meditator, but I did Kundalini yoga. I did a lot of that, but she was different. And she used to have parties. I've never seen anything like it. She used to have parties where not parties, like a couple of us, like spiritual nistas, different sets, where she would have television and ponies. What is it called? You do gambling and you could like do it on the television. I've never seen anything like that. And they're horses that are being raced. Now, I love animals, and that's abusive. First of all, to make the horses run like that, sometimes if they break their legs, they're euthanized, they're killed because they can't fix them. It's the most abusive sport to see. And I was shocked that she was so spiritual. She seemingly, listen to me, family, she was seemingly so spiritual, and she used her abilities for material gain. She used it on ponies. She used it on betting on animals being abused and so on. So I didn't know, I don't hold my tongue. I'm a Sagittarius. Any of you, big up to the Sagittarius in the house. If anybody knows the Sagittarius, we have a problem holding our tongue. It is our best gift and it is our worst gift. It is our worst enemy. Sagittarius' tongue is real. We can be sharp. But she did that, and I said, how do you resolve being spiritually connected, but you can support something that is so debaucherous, so abusive to animals, to the creatures of Goddess? Animals that, especially horses are free spirits. They have such wonderful souls. How do you sit with that? And she said, oh, I kind of resolve it. I know. And she said she knows it's wrong, but it didn't stop her from doing it. So that, along with her sexual propensities to engage over sexually with men that were from that same arena, it was a testament that there are those in this field of what you consider to be higher consciousness that are not higher conscious. They utilize the benefits of the field of higher consciousness or spirituality, but that's not necessarily who they are. So that's to say, I'm just saying, sometimes I had to release her, but I was honest. I said, I cannot sit in comfortability with you, and I'm not judging you, but I want to, what did I say to her? I want to keep those around me who honor life and themselves in a way that I feel is reflective of Goddess. And I wished her well. I never want to mince words. I'll do sometimes with men, but I released her. And even to this day, and she said I was a great friend. That's what it is, but I released her. Because that to me is a testament to her consciousness and her lack of consciousness. Yeah. Oh, is somebody on the platform doing something crazy? I will release you from this platform if you continue to come to this platform talking ish. Oh, the seeing eye. Well, for those who like to engage in the seeing eye, ricochet right back to you. 999. Right back to you. Boom. I rebuke you, like the Christians say. I rebuke you. That's why I have an eye to reflect the eye right back. Listen, the trolls exist everywhere. They have you seen The Handmaid's Tale? I heard about that, Mama Angel. Handmaid's Tale. That sounds familiar. I think I have. Everyone has the eyes on here. What does it all mean? Oh, someone got timed out. Okay. Well, I'm sorry I came on here like fire. I'm a triple Sag. Sometimes I get fire. I come out here with fire all up in arms, but I'm just letting those know. Listen, you don't have to like me. You don't have to like my sea stars. But if you don't like someone, why are you watching them? Why do you want to join their platforms? Why do you want to hang out with them? Why do you want to be a part of their family space? Like, if you don't like someone, stay away from them. Obviously, if you like them, even though you say you hate them, then you wouldn't pay attention to everything that they do. You wouldn't want to be part of their platform if you dislike them. So why don't you just give up the answer that you dislike them and just say, listen, I admire them, and maybe I'm just mad because I'm not about that life, or I can't be with them, or I can't be about them. But keep it moving. Keep all the spies, stay in your lane. Because all you do is mess with yourself. Because at the end of the day, there's a payment. There's a price you pay for messing with the divine, especially in our home court advantage. Remember, when you're coming into our field, in our home court advantage, and then you come to mess with us in our home space, when we have all of our peoples in the stadium, all of our beings surrounding us and supporting us, there is a price to pay for that, either in the arena or when you try to walk out of it. So I suggest you stay in your lane and stay with those that'll like you, and just keep it moving. Because now I know who some of you are. And the fact of the matter is, there's much more, what is it called? There's a repercussion directly when I know what's going on. It's harder to give. Remember, I'm an archer. I'm a Sagittarius, and I'm a triple Sag. So I got 3 archers going at each one of you, and I can hit you 3 times. It doesn't make sense. You should just keep in your place. If you have anything that you feel about me, you don't like me, keep it moving. No, there's people who are subscribed, but they do that to nature, not to. There's a lot of people subscribed to most people, to be honest, on YouTube and other platforms. You got to be mindful that Oh, somebody donated. Big up to the. Thank you for whoever donated to the FleurBrun Sanctuary. It was like a donation. Thank you. I don't know who did that. That was very nice. Thank you for whoever donated like $20. It's on top of my screen. There's something. Okay. Thank you. That'll go to FleurBrun Sanctuary. Thank you. There's a price to pay for doing that. I don't, people like to just subscribe to people. Just to be honest, some people subscribe to people for odd reasons. Sometimes people subscribe to people for reasons that unbeknown to them. I've had people for years, even before this, that subscribed to me, not because they really resonated with what I said. They ended up resonating later, but they seem to like certain things about me, maybe physically, maybe the way I sounded. They liked that. So it wasn't necessarily that they liked what I said or initially, but they ended up listening long enough where they felt like it was, part of something. They felt like I resonate. Maybe they picked up my frequency. That could be it too. Sagittarius stubborn. Yeah, we can be a little stubborn. It depends on the age too. A much more mature Sagittarius is a lot more worthy of a companion than a young Sag. A young Sag will come out of their mouth. Sagittarius can be very nasty with their mouths. That's one thing I will say. So it's interesting, but usually Sagittarius have a lot of loyalty though too. So that's the case. Yeah, I don't mind. I could care less who subscribes to me. I just don't like them messing with y'all. Because a lot of times what happens is that's why I made Patreon. Because a lot of times what happens is that in the comments are like this. When I see it on my end, I don't know if you guys see it. It goes so fast, but the abuse is just as fast. So if someone comes on here out the gate and they're abusive, it just goes perpetually really quickly. It feels crazy. And it bothers our people. It really does, because you guys feel the vibration. You feel the demons. I sound like nature not. You feel the demonic incarnates like attached. You just do. It goes so fast though, so it's hard for me to see it sometimes. Sometimes you guys tell me if somebody's on here and they're doing dirt. I can't see it sometimes because it goes so quickly. So it's like a place where someone can dagger you quick and keep it moving. It's not healthy. You know what I mean? But I come on here because listen, you're my family. I started with y'all. At the end of the day, this is where I found my family. I'm going to keep it real. YouTube, we could talk about YouTube all day, but when YouTube started, this is how we found each other. So I can't, on one side, I could say one thing, but at the other side, I have to really denote what YouTube did for all of us. It brought us all collectively together. A lot of the news that we got is from YouTube. A lot of all the real news that we were able to get based on truth and whistleblowing came from YouTube. So at the end of the day, yes, it's become a cesspool a little bit, but at the same point, we connect with each other from this platform. So we got to at least honor it a bit. You know what I mean? We got to give it a little bit of a big up. So, I look at both sides. Everything is a coin. There's two sides to a coin. There's a tail and a head. Sometimes you get mad because you only get tails, but at the end of the day, there's a head on the other side, right? So, Prince. Oh, Prince. Okay, Prince, I'll say. Oh, thank you, Marie. Prince. Oh, okay. Prince in his youthful state, he signed a contract. Let me just state this. When he first started in the music business, now he's very, very talented by far. He comes from, that's why I always big up Detroit, because D-Town in Michigan, I've never seen so many talented people in one place in my life. I've traveled the world. Detroit by far has the most Arcturian vibrating city ever. The Fox Theater, I went there. Remember, my ex's family's from Detroit. They're the most loving but sick people at the same time. There's a lot of sickness in Detroit based on the fact that they know that these people are beautiful vibration-wise. So there's a lot of drugstore. The drugstores carry liquor. There's a lot of gun stores. It's crazy because you see the beautiful people. Anyway, Prince came out of that. And when he came out of that and his talent, he showed up and he signed. Every being has to sign the contract. You already know the blood oath contract. Some contracts are different. Everybody thinks that you have to give your payment at the beginning. That's not true. Some beings don't pay until the end. So some beings give a blood sacrifice at the beginning, and then some don't give a sacrifice until the end of their career, at the very end. Some say, no, I don't want to pay for it, depending on the contract. I'm serious. When I tell you there's a serious contract that goes down, it's for your soul. It is. People don't believe it. There's a blood contract that these beings paid to be in that old patriarchy, just to be in the position of to stand on stage amongst that many people, to have that much notoriety, to be able to be perpetuated in the music industry. You had to pay. So he signed the blood oath, okay? And as he started to travel, be exposed to really wonderful, phenomenal cultures, people, his consciousness raised. But remember, he is part of a bloodline. You know, I always go back to the bloodline. He is part of a bloodline. Okay, so he was meant to wake up. And also, he was not only being used for fiat, for the Dark Cabal, he was being utilized by the Aquarians to perpetuate a field of vibration that would allow us to wake up, and giving us hints of who we were. Purple rain, you know, when doves cry. He was meant to utilize his vibrational fortitude, his vibrational field, to invoke us and to eventually trigger a lot of us to wake up, especially at this time. Because a lot of the songs that he made were for this time, even though they were made 20 years ago. These songs were made 20 years ago, but they were projected to wake up a certain demographic of people connected to his bloodline. Granted, Purple Rain was made previously, right? So his debt was due later, okay? But I can say one thing. Just because they call for someone, say someone's dead, does not mean that they've died. Some beings skip out of town or planet or off world or in a world before their contract is due in order to avoid paying. So in Detroit, some of people, even in New York, you know how we used to jump the turnstiles when we didn't want to pay? I'm telling too much. Remember when you used to jump the turnstiles and you didn't pay, but you got away with it? Some beings can jump the turnstile. They can skip town and get away with it. Especially if they had an attempted murder on them and they realized that their time was up. They can leave previous to anyone knowing. And the script that is put out there is that that being died so that they can't come back. They purposefully will do that. Will put that out in the news so the being can't show up again. It is to keep them out, because if they skip town, they're not even allowing them a way to come back, and they will take over the rights of their music. That's just my personal thought. Don't believe, don't think you know. Just because they tell you something on television, do you think that television will tell you the truth? They're just like we have beings skipping out town, taking just like we have beings leaving out of jump rooms, going to Mars to a little colony. I just discussed that on Patreon. I don't want to discuss that there. There are beings leaving because a lot of beings can't leave intergalactically because they don't have what's necessary to leave the planet. So they have to leave in jump rooms. There are beings leaving in jump rooms. What do you think? Celebrities don't have access to some of these jump rooms, leaving off world or going inner world? Especially those from bloodlines where there are other beings who are vested in protecting them. You're already naming some of them. Not all, some of them. And there are beings that, like Elvis Presley, that played dead for years and then showed up later, but you didn't recognize them. And then they died naturally. This is my take, okay? That's why when you see Justin Timberlake making a dedication to Prince, because he supposedly so loved him. No, that's poking at a being that they know didn't leave. That's poking at a being saying, ha ha, look, I'm going to make a song dedicated to you, and I really hated your nasty ass. Excuse me, language. I'm going to make this song, and I'm just going to, because I know you don't want this hologram up there. I'm just make the song for you. I'm going to dedicate it to you, just to stick it to you, because I know you're not here, but I know you can see it. That's what they do. Remember, Justin Timberlake is the same one that pulled down, remember he was the same one who left Janet Jackson holding the tetas, we call it tetas. The tetas, left her tetas out. They concocted that act where he pulled it off. She had a little tassel on her teta, her nipple. And they concocted that together. When he got in trouble for it, who did he leave on the line? He's a Judas. He's not to be trusted. He's a culture vulture. He's someone who jumps ship to go onto other cultures to take on the advantage of something, because he's really talented. I'm not saying Justin Timberlake, don't get it twisted. He's very talented. You can't take away from someone's talent. He's very talented, but he's a culture vulture. He's taken on the advantage of another culture that he didn't grow up with. And he's made a mockery of it to a certain degree. Like when he pulled the thing off her tata, showing her nipple, that was something they concocted together. But as soon as they criticized it, he left her holding the bag. He didn't want anything associated with that, because he didn't want it to ruin his fiat, his payout. So he had to separate himself, even though he agreed to it. So he left the one woman that he said he admired, that I heard that maybe he was sexually attracted to, or may have been getting down with. I don't know. I think that may have occurred. And he left her holding a bag. Just like Killmonger, right, in the movie, he was messing with that pretty young lady he was doing heists with, right? As soon as she was put up in a hostage situation, what did he do? He shot her in the head. That tells you what kind of character. But you got people out here saying they love Killmonger. He shot the girl he was having sex, the girl that he had an affinity for, a woman that he was sharing his affections for. He shot her in the head like a dirty dog in the street, like she never mattered at the get-go. But y'all have loyalty to people like that. You think that's someone to rock with. You're a Judas, somebody who has no loyalty to anyone or anything. When you see people throw other people under the bus, look at Nature Knot. Nature Knot is telling everybody else's business. He's telling everybody else's secret, trying to throw everybody under the bus. But he gets mad for people doing that to him. Those are Judases. Anybody who, if you tell a secret to someone and they tell other people, that's a Judas type of person. If they can't even hold your privacy, your secrets, or hold certain things and humiliate people, that's a testament to who they are. People who throw people under the bus, that you can't trust them. Listen, people who tell me they're going to do something and don't, those are people who I tend to put aside. Because if you tell me that you're going to do something and you don't, and you perpetually do that, you're a perpetual line stepper. That's what my ex used to say. Perpetual line steppers. Those are people you need to put away, because those are people who don't have integrity in the words and actions. If you don't have integrity in the words and actions, then then that's a testament to who you are. You can't be trusted. And the same with beings who are highly, who will throw people under the bus, tell their secrets whenever, like the Quincy Jones and all these people. Why would you tell all these people's secrets now? Some of them are dead and gone, or to embarrass and humiliate them? What would be, because you're trying to jump ship, right? So you're trying to tell the divine, look, I'll divulge all the truth. Just let me on your mothership, your rainbow mothership, so I can go to 5D and above. No, you're not coming with us, Quincy Jones. You're not allowed it on our ship, our purple ship. You're not coming to our purple rain. You stay right in that dirty world that you helped to manifest with Tevin Candle and all the child molestations and the abuses of little boys that you've done. And when you partied downstairs, when Whitney Houston was dead in the tub, you didn't seem to have a problem talking about that. You didn't bring that up, did you? All right, I'm upset. I'm sorry. I'm a little parched. Psychopath narcissist. Thank you, T. Will. You said it. I couldn't have said it any better. Spilling all the tea, but you ain't spilling your cup of tea. You spilling their tea. You spilling this man's tea. You're spilling her tea, but you're not spilling your cup of tea. You're leaving your cup of tea nice and pristine for yourself. Still warm enough to drink, perfectly still intact. You're leaving that. But you'll blow everybody else's spot, right? I know venting is healthy. Some, like I said, I have Sag moments. I just, some sea stars got their spots blown today, and I had to talk about the Judases in the neighborhood. You know, like it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. You know, like beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? No, you have some dirty, dirty, disgusting, venomous females that are up in our ciphers that need to be checked. So I thought I'd speak on it. I know who the patriarchy is. See, this is where I'm not letting them go, but we know who the patriarchy is. We've spoken about them, but we don't speak about the accountability for the sea stars who is sitting here placating and servicing these demons and devils, but they want to act like they're all pristine up in our mix. I don't think so. You do dirt, you get dirt. If your actions, if your characteristics have hurt or harmed another sea star, another sea star's business, another sea star's heart, another sea star's family, another sea star's platform, another sea star's peace of mind, then you too will karmically pay the debt owed for that deed. Stay with the dogs. And I don't want to say dogs because that's disrespectful. Dogs are, you know what? I should never say dogs because dogs are loyal. I'm sorry. I should have never put that on the canines because they should stay over with the draconian, those gator-like beings that they're so mimicking. How about that? Gators who have no empathy. Gators will bite you. They will see you. They reactive. They have no sense of restraint because they're just impulsive. You could stay over in the gator-infested swamps that you came from. I don't care about the ones who come here and dislike my videos. You make me more relevant. Every time you dislike my videos, it's a testament to how much you really like me. Because you ever notice my videos, there's always like 7 dislikes. Unless I'm talking about things that are really piloted. But it's always like 7 dislikes. It's the same people who are subscribed to me, who remain subscribed to me, who just put a dislike on it because they're venomous. It's okay, but it's a testament to how much you really like me. So every time you dislike me, you actually like me more than the people who actually put a like on. You actually do, because you went out of your way. I provoked so much, I invoked so much passion in you that you have to push that dislike, because you have to watch the video. You have to feel this feeling of ants. It's really not dislike. You should just admit that you like me, and I may like you back. You ever meet somebody who just pisses you off? I've met men, and this is, no, even now, I've met men that so piss me off. Like they just rile me up. And it's so funny because some of them I'm attracted to. Keep it in 1,000. It's like they just invoke this in you. And nobody wants to talk about that. Like as little kids, remember they say the little boy that hit you is the one that liked you the most. It's kind of like that. I meet men that they like to banter with me. They like to verbally box with me. They enjoy it. And both of us have a subliminal attraction for one another. It's an attraction, because at the end of the conversation, it's always like, when are you just going to release yourself to me, FleurBrun? They'll say that after we've just gone back to, like, we'll go blow to blow. I don't hold my tongue. When I deal with men that are real misogynistic, I go toe to toe with them. But there's something about having that invocation of emotions that is actually connected to attraction sometimes. So that's what I'm saying. I don't really get mad when people dislike me. Sometimes when I invoke people, they have that passionate feeling to have that, boxing it out. Yeah, I'm feisty. Yeah, I go to the Muslim, especially sometimes the Islamic sect doesn't really mess with me. It's really the who is it? The Hebrew Israelites. They come for me sometimes. Sometimes they leave me alone, but sometimes they'll go. They want to bat with me, and I'm good. Listen, like I said, I come here on my own platform. If I come, I can bat with you. Backing down is not one of my things. That's the least thing I do. I come close. If somebody's coming for me, I prefer to get closer to them so I have a better vantage point. I'll quicker stand closer to you if you're trying to push me or battle with me, then back up. Some people's disposition is a little more different. They'll back up a little bit. I stand my ground, and sometimes I'll push forward just to see what you have. I'm a warrior. Like I said, I'm all love and war. I am the two. I am. If you had a coin with love and war, that would be FleurBrun's face would be on both sides. I am love and war. Ask any mate that I've been with. I will listen. If I love you to the stars. If you bat with me and you bother something with me within my integrity, my family system, or my feeling of security, I will go to war with you and I will win. 90% of the time I will win. There's a 10% chance I lose. I'll win. I will win by all means necessary. But I will love somebody to the heart chakra, down to the root. I will. I am loyal as all heaven. I really am. When I love and especially with my sea stars, I have so much compassion for my sea stars. I love my sea stars to the stars. I bat for my sea stars, whether they know it on the surface or not. I make sure I represent. That's why I say, when it comes to certain things, somebody, the one person we were talking about, this is a while ago, we were talking about the one person you could leave with your dude was FleurBrun, because I'm good. Whenever I have a girlfriend and she's in love and she has a mate, I respect that union and I support it. And if I I'm zero violating of that. But if I see another female test that relationship or put themselves, because that's what I'm saying, some of these non-divines, they will try to tempt, especially if they're envious or jealous or competitive, they'll put themselves in a position where they're seen by the mate of male, and they'll do that. I'll go toe to toe with that chick. I do it every time. How dare you? Why are you challenging that couple? They're comfortable. What would make you think that that's okay? I check them all the time. Don't play with me. I see what you're doing. Don't go there. And so even, as busty as I am, if I'm somewhere with my girlfriends and so on, I don't leave. I make sure that if I have anything that's too expressive in clothing, because I'm busty, I can't help that. I'm grateful for the way I'm grateful for me and the way I'm shaped. I'm grateful. Sometimes sometimes I have to lessen it because I have to fit in my clothes a certain way. Sometimes I'm okay to be otherwise. But when I'm around my girlfriends in a respectful platform and they have their males around, especially when I was single, I would dress up a little more because I wanted to be respectful in front of their mates. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure that I wasn't leaving anything to cause strife or any sort of attraction. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people just have attraction for one another. It really doesn't have to do with anything other than, just natural attraction. So I do that. And I make sure I respect that. And because I want my girlfriends, if they're happy, I'm happy. If they're in love, I love them when they're happy. I want my girlfriends to be happy. I want their relationships to be fulfilled. I want their children to be successful. I want them to be safe in every way. And I bat for them. I do. And I make sure that I honor everything about their healthy homeostasis. I really do. I tell you, in my youth, I wasn't like that. I had a moment where I thought it was flattering to have my girlfriend's boyfriend tell me how beautiful I was. I was flattered that he liked me. Even though despite he was with my girlfriend. That's not respectful. That's not honoring of myself. How dare I do that? What kind of friend was I to her to do that? You know what I mean? That's a testament to how I felt about myself. And I apologized to her. Years later, I struggled with that. I even after that relationship was long gone, my heart was broken that I hurt my girlfriend. And years later, I had the opportunity to apologize to her and tell her that I'm sorry that I did that to her. She didn't even feel as strongly about that, but I was wrong. And I honored her, and I really loved her, and I just didn't like myself that much. I was competing with her based on my own lack of self-love. I didn't think I was that pretty. I didn't think I was that special. So when he told me that, and he was with my girlfriend who I thought was super special and super pretty, I took ego in that. So, that's all. And that's why I share with you. I want you to see that concept because we grow up. We all grow up. We all evolve. And I'm okay with people evolving. You know what I mean? But sometimes, even now, I evolve. Like as you get a little more seasoned, even in our dating, when I'm in mating season, many of you know I like to mate spring spring to fall. When I'm single, I like to mate. I get in what I consider to be in heat. I'm very honest about that. I like to find mates, not mate, not super sexual, but I'm engaged in finding a mate during that time. But even when I go through that process, I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm seasoned. So all the males that I come in contact with have either been married, divorced, married, not been with their wife, separated for years, or young, young males like FleurBrun. A lot of young males like FleurBrun, because I'm fun and feisty, and it makes sense. I have a lot of energy. I get in those demographics, and I have to be careful because women who are still attached to males, you have to be careful because even if they are divorced, a woman who's been married to a man for 16, 20 years still feels, in love with him, or she feels connected, or she feels ownership of him. I personally understand what that feels like. So I have to be honorable to say, hey, is your mate, is she okay with you dating? Is she okay with you? Would you like her to meet me? Because I'm a girl's girl. I'm a woman's woman. I can meet another woman and make her feel comfortable because I'll tell her I'm respectful of her heart. If me engaging with her male makes her feel her heart hurt, I by all means will step out of the plate. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I always put that out there. So, and that's where I want other women to do that. If you have problems with FleurBrun, just say it. Just say, what's your beef with me? If you tell me in an honorable way, when I say honorable way, now if you're going to say nasty things to me, call me all kinds of F and if not, no, that's not, there's no reason to engage with me. I'm not going to respect you the way that you bring that out. But if you talk to me and explain what I may have offended and how I speak, I'm good with that. Because I'm a New Yorker too. There's not much I haven't heard or seen. So New Yorkers, we've seen people pee on the train. You've seen people being robbed or murdered. I'm being honest. I mean, I've seen it all. So it's not much that you're going to say to me that's going to truly offend me personally, unless you come in for me or my family. Then if you come from that angle, then I'm gonna meet you where you are. But other than that, if you tell me that you feel offended, so on, I can meet someone halfway to the point where we can resolve something. And it doesn't mean we have to be friends. It just means you have to be neutral. But if you come at me a certain way, I'm gonna meet you where you're at. That's all. Anyway, and that's why I say with my mate, I'm grateful to have met the mate that I have because he respects. It's not that he just honors who I am. He's from New York, from the Bronx. And he's Caribbean. So he has a lot of the same propensities as I have. And he's grown. He's a man. So he's seen things from a lot of angles. And because we match because he honors the truth and the integrity that I have and the passion, but he also understands some of the pain or shadows that show up with me being hurt in certain ways. So it's really beautiful. And I'm grown now. So I'm seasoned. So I jealousy is different from an angle of being seasoned. Like things that are we see things differently, especially if you've been married before. You see things differently. I can love him for who he is. I can love him if he's sick. I love him if he's healthy. I love him if he's sad. I love him if he's, mad. I love him. I love him in all balanced perspectives. And he does with me. He loves me when I look crazy, when my hair wakes up crazy in the morning, or when I'm crying, or when I'm ranting. I say crazy things sometimes. I will curse. Listen, and I do curse. I just don't curse with you guys. I will tell somebody off if they hurt my feelings. Like if I think he hurt my feelings, I'm a Sagittarius. I will say it in a way that may not be. And he understands that, and he has a patience with me, and I appreciate that. So I've met someone who's met me halfway, and I'm grateful for that. And even if we weren't, we'd be friends forever because that's what I like. Oh, what are they doing in New York? They've been trying to they fled New York already. Tatiana, Tatayet. You have a beautiful name. I can't pronounce it though. Tatiana, they flooded New York already. Remember when they had the 3 hurricanes hit the Northeast? Remember there was scuba divers underneath the subway station? They already flooded New York. New York is always going to be flooded. New York is an island. 2012, it was flooded. All the bougies left. I remember getting phone calls from the Stushies who live on the penthouse who were out. They left before the hurricanes came because they got the weather wars documents. They got the archives saying that that the HARP system was going to create three hurricanes that were going to try to flood out New York. New Yorkers are resilient. It's, the only thing that will take New York out is a tsunami, and it would have to be a big enough tsunami from the Atlantic. Yeah, New York is it's going to always have problems. They had sewer problems and flooding all the time. But I'm just saying, the only thing that's going to really take out New York is a tsunami. And their technology is not to that point. Their technology is not that wonderful. Like, they have technology that does well. Obviously, you've seen they create earthquakes and so on. But as far as New York, you have a lot of Satanist groups in New York doing occultism that live there. I'm just saying, when the occultists leave, when the satanic and Luciferians leave, Lucifer lives in New York. If there's a Lucifer that's a person, he lives in New York. He does. And he's chilling. That's what I'm saying. New York is not one of those places towards the pole shift. Yes. Now that you can't call. That's Mother Earth's call. That's when we get disinfection. But as far as now, like I said, the only thing that could do it is a tsunami. And like I said, Lucifer lives there. There's more Luciferians and satanic sects in occultists in New York than anywhere. They do occult rituals to protect that Gotham City. They just do. And that might be to you. That's why I say sometimes we look at things negative and we shouldn't. You should be grateful that you have Luciferians living in New York if you're living there, because they will they will keep it protected until they decide to leave. Now, if they start leaving, and you'll know, because when they start leaving, things will start to change. So if you start seeing a whole bunch of crazy things happening, like all of a sudden places are changing. This is the thing. Occultists they create shields. Like how we create our shield, our 13 shield, they create shields. Now, if you start seeing buildings falling apart, like on Fifth Avenue, Prospect, across from Central Park, then you should relocate real quick. Because that's when they left. They have force fields all around there. It's Luciferian City. It's their playground. Man, that's just my opinion. People get scared when I say that. Like, why are you talking so? We live with people who live in the dark and the light. In order for you to acknowledge light, you have to know what the dark looks like. I'm very balanced in that way. There are Luciferians, there are satanic people, but there are people who are regular people who have both light and dark in them. I know people who are real sweet. Like I told you, I'm love and I'm war. I could bring both to you. So it's duality. Duality has to exist to hold form. The only reason we're holding physical form in the Matrix is because we have duality. As soon as duality falls apart, you either rise to 5D or you experience trauma, like cataclysms. When cataclysms happen, it means that the field of duality is falling apart. That's what's going to happen. What do you do when you have a vision of someone new in your life doing satanic acts? I'm honestly being overloaded and can't trust anyone because I've seen. Yeah, they could. Well, be careful of how you deem satanic acts. Some people deem Satanism as what it is, and it's not. Some people are just occultists. Some people like to put spells on people. I know more people who do love spells and binding spells who are not part of satanic groups. They just want to keep somebody bound because they're possessive and they're not mentally self-aware. So they do things like that. I know a lot of people who are part of, just regular people who go to Eurasias, who go to occultist stores, Wiccan stores, and they just get candles and do occult rituals, and they're not Satanists. They just want to hold their partners. I've seen that. That's more likely the case. Satanists and Luciferians, that's a whole, and they're separate. Luciferians and Satanists are not the same. They make kiki together once in a while. They're very different. Okay, but they exist. And I talk about them because I know people who are part of those sects, both. Botanicas, yeah, they go to Botanicas and do stuff like that, yeah. You just have to, you got to be careful. I personally refrain from dating or mating with males who are part of the occult. This is my personal, now, not everybody, and that's not judgment. Listen, my occultists, my males who are occultists, I'm not dissing you. I'm just saying, I personally refrain from mating with males who are part of the occult. Why? No, not because they're evil. It's because I personally have an issue with someone having, especially males. Whenever males are part of the occult, there's some sort of manipulation aspect to it. That's why they join, unless they come from a family of occultists. Usually males who come from mothers who are Santerians, Botanikas, Voodoons, Jongajans, Obians, Wiccan. Sometimes males come from families where females do that. So they're just accustomed to having those tools to utilize and so on. That's a little different. But when a male chooses in this time frame to be part of the occult, I look at him side-eyed. Okay, because there's a form of manipulation. There's a reason why he joined. And it usually has to do, no, voodoo's not evil. None of these are evil. I never said anything's evil. Voodoo and Obia, those are all things that have to do with a lot of them West African undertones and indigenous undertones, some Druid undertones from Europe. I don't judge it. You don't judge the art. You judge the practitioner. Yeah, you do not judge the art, judge the practitioner. Someone can have a gun. It's not the gun that kills people. It's the person who kills someone. You know what I mean? So don't judge that. I never judge anyone who's part of the occult because you don't know why they join. I'm just saying personally, I refuse. I don't want to say refuse. I refrain from being with anyone in the occult personally. Because I personally like my peace of mind. And I want to know what I feel is real. That's just it. And it's a judgment, but it is what it is. I want to know that if I love you, it's because I really love you. Okay? I want to know that I love you not because you've been doing 20 million rituals, putting my picture in a graveyard or under your pillow and putting honey and all kinds of stuff on, flowers on it, and putting pictures of us and kissing it all night. I want to know that I love you because I love you. That's it. And men should feel the same way. You should be mindful of women who are involved in the occult because it's the same thing. That's it. It's not, like I said, it could be a little bit of judgment. It's my choice. If I want to mate with someone who's in the occult, I'll date someone in the occult. I prefer to keep that aspect out. Do I know about the occult? Yes. And whoever I mate with may not want to be with me. Maybe because they feel like I have too much access to all this information that could be manipulative. They have every right as well. Yeah, just, you guys could do what you do. Remember that, but all spell work has repercussions. If you're doing things to harm someone now, if you give ricochets to someone, that you can't give a ricochet. If they gave you flowers and daisies and you give a ricochet, they're going to get floral smells and flowers all day. Okay? So ricochets, I always agree with ricochets because whatever someone sends to you, they should be okay getting back. So you return to sender. That's all. So I'm a fan of ricochets. So I always tell people I do everything in the light. But if you throw something at me, don't be surprised if it comes at you 3 times harder. So just be mindful when you throw things in my arena, know that it's going to be sent back to you 3 or to 10 times harder. So that's it. So make sure it's the same vice versa. If you're doing anything, make sure you're okay to take what you do. Be able to sip from the same cup that you're serving your guests. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm gonna go in. It's movie night. Remember, I do movie night with my little people. That's kind of mommy I am. No, I'm like that. So I just kind of accustomed to doing movie night when I had little people. I do movie night. So when I had little people, we do movie night together on a Friday. Yeah. So I'm gonna go and I got movies and goodies and all that good stuff. That's what I do. Yes. I love you guys. I'm grateful you came here for the rant. See, I calm down once I vent. You notice when you vent, you feel better. I see how I love this connection that we all have. It makes me feel better. I vented. I had a little venom in me and I released it and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I've spoken from my heart and spoke my mind and now I feel better. I hope it wasn't too bad. I apologize if I offended anyone. I could be wild. Anyway, so have a good night. Enjoy and go see the movie Big. I have some retro movies to go see. Big with Tom Hanks because I'm going to talk about it on Patreon. Reverse aging technology that they have. So I wanted everyone to see. There's a good movie to see. Big. I always give you like the retro movies. Big, which Tom Hanks back in the days, which is a good one. And there was another movie we were talking about. Oh oh my gosh, what was the other movie? Under the Skin. I always tell you to see Under the Skin. That was a good one. Oh, during this time you should see Omen. Omen 1 and 2. It's Omen. It's Omen. These are all the older movies. A lot of things are coming online right now, so it kind of keeps you, because remember, movies that they had back then were kind of projections of what was coming into play now. So I was watching Omen. I've watched it 50 million times. So Omen. A lot of beings right now are into occult rituals because there's particular entities that are coming back on planet. So they're getting prepared for certain beings to show up. That's why everybody's pregnant. There's so many pregnant women around. It's because a lot of beings are showing up, and these are all the ancients coming on, and it's all the bloodlines. So it's interesting. All the bloodlines, whether it be the Draconian ancients, whether it be the Arcturian ancients, all of them coming online. So The Exorcist is a good one too. All those occult shows like Rosemary's Baby, watch those, because that's why I'm talking a lot about satanic sex right now, because everybody's preparing for their beings to show up for the battles for home court advantage, because they know who's on home court advantage, but they're going to have the best and the baddest on this planet at this time to try to hold field, so that after the next 2,000 years of golden age, they're going to have their people come back make sure they have them on surface to re-engage if you're still in that third 3D form. So it'll be interesting. Anyway, I'm gone. enjoy your evening or your day. Some of you are in the day, or some of you in the morning who are in Europe. So I appreciate you all. I'm grateful. And for all the people who enjoy to dislike FleurBrun, I even appreciate you too. Just stay in your own lane. Don't come around here, because I have something for you here, and I got something for you in the ether. Ricochet. Peace.